Hey y'all, how you doing today? So today I want to talk to you about the first potion I ever learned to make. Now, we all know what a potion is. You've probably seen a movie or a TV show like Charmed or Buffy where they make or use a potion. Usually with Charms, it's usually like to vanquish a demon, but in movies, love potions are usually used um, to move a story along. For example, there's a movie in the 80s with Sandra Bullock called Love Potion Number 9, where these two scientists accidentally create a love potion, and it's more voice activated. You take the potion, and then when you talk, people of the opposite sex are drawn to you. Also, there's the other type of love potion where someone ingests the love potion, and then the first person they see, they fall in love with. A good example of that type of potion can be found in the 1984 picture Supergirl, starring Helen Slater and Faye Dunaway. But anyway, today I'm going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you about love potions and fictional. I'm talking about a real potion, a real potion that I learned to make growing up in the South. Um, but let's talk a little bit more about what potions are really quick before I do that. Um, Potions are usually people think of potions, they think of an herb which has been boiled in water. So the most common type of potion in that sense would be a tea. For example, you've probably had a potion and don't even realize it if you've ever drank an herbal tea with an intent. For example, people drink chamomile tea to calm down or to help them sleep. That, for all intents and purposes, is a potion. Whether you chanted over it or anything, your intent to make the tea and then drink it made it a potion. But there are other types of potions out there too. In hoodoo, we use a lot of condition oils, um, which is usually an oil, a base oil like grapeseed oil or something, into which herbal extracts or essential oils have been placed, herbs, leafy herbs, roots, and in some cases, minerals like lodestone or pyrite. Here is a good example of an herb. This is Mercury retrograde oil, and I got that from my friend Ruth over at the Tarot Witchery. And this is an important oil because right now we are in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, which happens I think in about 2 weeks. Um, Other types of oils include tinctures. These are herbs and roots which have been um, oh God, y'all, there's a squirrel and it's coming right at me. So if I jump up and scream, you know why. It's about 2 feet from my camera looking at me. All right, he turned around. All right, I'm sorry. What was I saying? Oh, tinctures are types of herbs, oh, potions in which herbs have been steeped in alcohol. You also have salves. These are more like lotions. They're greasy usually because they used to be made out of um, leavings from cooking, like animal fat, and you would add essential oils, herbs, and whatnot to it, and vitamin E to preserve it, and you would use it like a lotion on yourself. You also have baths and washes, and these are a bath is sort of when you might make a tea and pour it into your bath. You might just add herbs and essential oils to a bath and bathe in it to sort of bring something to you or to wash something away. Same thing with washes, only with washes you might use it to wash down your walls or your floors. So these are some of the different types of potions. Anyway, getting back to my story, the first potion that I ever learned how to make was, growing up in the South, believe it or not, sweet tea. Sweet tea is a delicious, delicious potion, which I have been denied for the last 2 years, thanks to my doctor, because apparently sugar is bad. But anyway, the way I was taught, there goes that squirrel again, the way I was taught to make sweet tea is you put a pot of water on to boil, and then you put 8 tea bags in that water, and you let it boil for about 5 or 6 minutes. You don't want to let it boil too long because the tea bags can burst open if you boil it too long, and then you'll have the little herbs all up in it. And I don't know about you, I don't like to drink the dreads. Anyway, then you put a cup and a half of sugar in a gallon jug, and then after that tea has boiled, you remove your tea bags, throw them away. Although I know some cheap people who would reuse them, but that makes your tea weaker each time. Anyway, then you pour that hot water over that sugar and stir it to let the sugar melt. Then you fill it up with cool water and stick it in the refrigerator. I don't know about you, I don't like hot tea. Hot tea is more like when I was talking about the chamomile tea to help you sleep. But when it comes to everyday sweet tea, I like my tea cold. Another way I was taught to make tea is called sun tea. And that's when you take your 8 tea bags, and they usually have like a little string on them. And I usually take and tie those strings together so they're all stuck together. You put a cup and a half of sugar in your gallon jug. You turn on your spigot and let the water get hot, or you can boil water if you want to. Pour that hot water or that boiling water over that sugar and stir it just enough to cover the sugar and melt that sugar. Then you fill it up the rest of the way with cold water. Then what you want to do is take your 8 tea bags, put it down in the jug, and take that string and put it over the lip of the jug, and then put the lid on the jug so that the lid holds the tea bags in place. They don't sink to the bottom or what have you. Then you're going to take that jug and put it outside in the sunlight. And the heat from the sun is what's going to pull that essence out of those tea bags into that water. And I would usually put it out there in a sunny spot, usually a spot where the sun's going to stay all day, because like usually, depending on which way your house faces, it may be sunny in the morning and then dark on that side at night. You may have to move your jug to keep it in the sun. But I usually keep it out a good 8 hours. And then you take that tea bags out and throw them away. Stir your tea for good measure, and put it in the refrigerator and let it get good and cold. And let me tell you, that is some delicious sweet tea. When you make sun tea, you're also pulling in solar energy for life and vitality and energy. And like I said, it's really good. But anyway, that is my story of the first potion that I ever learned to make. So tell me, what was the first potion you ever learned to make? Or what's your favorite potion? Anyway, have a great day, everybody.